Hello, Internet. So, talking about anger this week. And, well, first of all, if the camera angle looks a little weird, it's because, selfie stick broke. There's this, like, little pin that goes in there and, like, holds this thing onto it. Got out of the car. I don't have it. And I don't know where it is. And it's been a week since I used the thing, so it could be anywhere. And unfortunately, I could not make like some sort of makeshift solution on the fly because I got sticks, and sticks will go in there and they'll hold the two pieces together, but they spin and get all wacky, and I'm having to step funnily because we have new crops and I'm trying not to trample them. So anyway, anger. You know those people who, wow, I'm already discovering the benefits of the selfie stick. We're just like 1 minute into the video and my shoulder's feeling it. But anyways, those people who are always like angry, like you say like the least little thing and they go like, and they get in your face and you're disrespecting me and Okay, they're not all like that, but they all say things like that. Trust me, I have to work with 3, 4 people like that. Hold on, let me put my broken selfie stick in my pocket so I can switch my hands. One-handed pocketing is difficult. I don't know how people do this in RPGs. They're computer generated, that's how they do it. Anyway, okay. Switching hands. And you can see my thumb now. That's... okay. Anyways. What if I told you they're not actually angry? They're afraid. I mean, think about it. Fight or flight. If a bear were to jump out of these woods right here, I would probably run away. That's the flight part. And by the way, if it's a bear, that's the smart thing to do. But there are some people who, under certain circumstances, they prefer to fight rather than flight. Now, these guys here, they're not growing too good. I guess these old dead grass things are kind of getting in the way, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a plant person. I studied animals in biology. Let's go over this way so I can... Yeah, see, one of the problems here is these crops are trying to grow under the trees. And the trees are doing the root thing under the ground, stealing all the nutrients. So these crops, they're not growing so good. Anyway, some people prefer to fight rather than flight. Which means that they're perceiving some sort of thing that they see as a threat. And by the way, this pretty much happens with all anger. If you get angry, it's because you're perceiving some sort of threat and you're afraid it's either true or it's going to harm you somehow. You know, it's like... trying to think of a good example. I should prepare my material better in advance. I mean, I had an entire week to do this. And this arm is getting tired, so I gotta switch over. Oh, you're seeing the palm of my hand. Anyway, some people might get angry that this video is a lot less professional than others. Are any of my videos professional? Let's turn over this way so you get... I have to walk sideways. But you know, one professional thing about this video is I'm filming during the golden hour. And that's 1 hour before sunset or 1 hour after sunrise. And it's technically overcast. So we're getting those nice soft shadows, which looks better. And also makes me not squint like... So it is a little professional. It's just I had a little technical difficulty, equipment failure, and I'm having to improvise. In fact, some people will be angry. Oh, I broke my thing and I can't do the thing. And yeah. Fear. Anger is fear. This is. You guys see that? Yeah, the rows are going this way, but we got a diagonal. Actually, we got several diagonals. Maybe you guys can see it. Oh yeah, I can see it on the screen, which means you can see it. You know, one benefit of this approach is that my camera is a lot more mobile. Can't get that with a selfie stick. Maybe I should exercise my arms and do this more. But anyways, you know, some people will be like so afraid that, you know, it's not going to, this would not meet, you know, the so-called standards of you know, whatever, and that would get them angry. You know, I want to fight it. Except you can't fight a situation. It's technically wasted energy. Oh, they finally moved the trees that got downed during the hurricane last summer. Wow, almost a year. Yeah, I know, I'm getting a little distracted. Things are different, it's distracting. Also, I'm an INTJ, I tend to get distracted by sensory input. And a dead tree not being where it usually is sensory input. But anyway, let's talk about name calling. You know, a lot of people get angry when you call them a certain name. And it's a different name for different people. And sometimes it's not even a name, it's like an insult to like, oh, whatever. Maybe not even an insult, just like an observation. Gotta switch hands again. Gotta get my thumb out of the shot. Gotta get all my fingers out of the shot. It's like it's like just an observation, and they perceive it as an insult. Well, one, you're either afraid that it's true, and you don't want to confront it. So the attempt to turn, you know, like to fight the person who said it is an attempt to run away from the truth. Or something that could be true, or something that you're afraid is true. Ultimately, it comes down to insecurity, and I'm thinking next week's video will be about the insecurity, because we have a lot of that in the world. But yeah, a lot of insecurity leads to fear. Fear is anger, or an attempt to confront what we're afraid of. An attempt to deal with fear. Again, fight or flight. You know, most of the videos that I've been talking about fear, it's the irrational fears that we want to run away from that tend to get in our way. You know, anger is one of those things that can also get in our way. Because if you spend your time being like all angry and stuff, it's wasted energy. I already mentioned that. And then there's the whole thing about being angry at a situation. Like, I've been poor. I'm still poor, technically. But I've been in a situation where I had to mooch grocery money off a friend. I had to learn to improvise sewing just to stitch up the holes in my pants, because I could not afford to buy new pants. This is actually not too long ago, really. I mean, this is before I was doing YouTube. Got a car that's being annoying, so I'll let that pass. But yeah, during that period where I was extremely poor, I mean, it's like whenever I got a paycheck, I was having to pay a bill. And basically all my money was going toward bills. And there was not a lot else that I could do. And I spent a lot of that time angry at the situation, at me, And that's another thing. When you start getting angry at yourself, that kind of leads to self-loathing. And there was this other video that I did in the past where I talked about depression and even suicidal thoughts. And that's where self-loathing leads. Fear of a situation can lead to anger at the situation, at other people, at yourself. Once you get angry at yourself, you're on the road to self-loathing. That equals depression, maybe even suicidal thoughts, maybe even suicidal attempts. Fear. All starts with fear. And how you deal with this fear is, well, it's different with every situation. But ultimately, it comes down to logically analyzing. See, that's the hard part right there. Logically analyzing. We're not logical beings. We're not rational beings. We are very, very irrational beings. There's some animal poop there. I want to avoid that. If I step in it, my cats will love my shoes. Like, it smells fascinating. But then I won't want to wear my shoes. Anyway, back on topic. What was I talking about? Before the animal poop. Yeah, don't do this, because then that happens. How did they plow the field with the rusty steel roofing in the field? Wouldn't that mess up the equipment? Again, more distractions. At least that one wasn't animal poop. Stop talking about animal poop. Oh yeah, we are not logical beings. We are highly, highly emotional. We want to respond emotionally to everything. And yeah, here I'm trying to not trample the crops. I mean, they're baby plants. They're delicate and vulnerable. Got to take care of them. So yeah, getting to that logical analyzing part is hard. You have to analyze the situation and you figure out what you're perceiving as a threat. And then assess whether or not it's actually a threat. Again, bear coming out of the woods, actual threat. Run. Don't try to fight a bear. That's stupid. But someone calling you a name and disrespecting you, who cares? There's probably one person in the room who cares. That's the one person who's getting angry. That's the one person wasting energy on anger. Now that again, it comes from insecurity. So the long-term solution to that is figuring out why you're insecure and dealing with that. That's probably a whole other video altogether. But anger at a situation, like, I'm having to stitch up my pants because I can't afford to buy new pants. What I should have done is realize that I'm still alive. And even though I'm having to mooch grocery money off a friend, I'm still eating. Because I do have people who care about me. They did not take care of that, did they? That's been there for, what, a year now? Maybe more? And we got flies everywhere. Anyway. And another thing that I should have realized is that there's literally billions of ways to make money. You just got to figure out how to do that and then do that. Which is what I'm doing now, a few years later. Better late than never, right? Yeah, I like this time of day. That's taking time to kind of take it in. This is when the world kind of gets quiet and relaxed. It's peaceful. Also, it's not freaking hot. Last week we were getting in the high 90s every single day, and it's not even actual summer yet. And nighttime, I don't think it dropped below 80. Again, not actual summer yet. But anyway, anger is fear. Fear always comes from something. It's either insecurity or perceived threat, or some situation that you don't like and you don't know how to get out of it. I mean, it's complicated, but there are ways of dealing with the fear and getting over the anger. Some requires more work than, they all require work. Some requires more work on yourself, and some requires more work on like changing your situation. Obviously, if your fear/anger is coming from insecurity, you got to work on yourself more than your situation. Although you might have to work on your situation just to gain the confidence to not be insecure. Now, if your fear/anger is coming from a situation that you're blaming yourself for getting yourself into, sure, you still have to work on yourself, but you need to work on your situation as well. Translation, you have to work on yourself and your situation at the same time. I know, I like how I said that it's different for different situations, but it's actually the same. I'm weird like that. Anyway, and yeah, you might notice that Wilson could not be here this week. Yeah, scheduling issues again. That's something I could be angry at. I mean, I'm not. I've accepted that it is what it is. I mean, it's frustrating. See, frustration is not anger. Frustration is just like a natural response to frustrating situations. Now, how you respond to the frustration, that could be anger. And again, I'm having to be very careful not to trample the plants. I think it was a mosquito in my ear. Yeah, it's that time of day. So I should probably be getting inside now. By the way, I don't actually live here. I have to drive home. I don't live that far away. I would like to live here, but that requires money, because there's not a livable building on the premises. Anyway, frustration is not anger, but it can lead to anger. And the solution to that is just like realize, the difference between frustration and anger. It's okay to be frustrated, and sometimes it's even okay to be angry. Sometimes people do things that deserve anger. If somebody were to jump out of the woods and punch me in the face for no reason, I'd be a little angry. Might even try to punch them back. Not intentionally, just, that's the natural response to being punched in the face. Either that or run away. Anyway, I've droned on for almost 20 minutes now. Anger is fear. Fear about something. Figure out what you're afraid of. It's the whole self-awareness thing. We're going back to episode 1 now. Self-awareness. Anyway, next week is probably going to be me alone again, because again, scheduling issues. Hopefully we can work that out, and anyway, see you next week.